I'm Mr. Q, and I'm going to talk you through analyzing propaganda posters from World War One. So propaganda is any media that promotes a particular cause. It could be posters, but it could also be music, cartoons, it could be stories, poems. They're carefully crafted in order to persuade the viewer of something. It might be a political cause or another issue. And propaganda can often be misleading, so you want to be really careful when you're looking at it. So this is a piece of propaganda from World War One. It's really famous. The "I want you" for the U.S. Army, Uncle Sam pointing, that is extremely recognizable. During World War II, like in other wars, propaganda was used to recruit men to the military, promote patriotism, and it was also used to encourage home front participation. So you'd see posters that asked people to buy Liberty bonds, conserve food, asked kids to collect materials, and also encouraged people to go to factories to build weapons and other supplies that they needed for the war. When we're analyzing a propaganda poster similar to a cartoon, we want to look at the words, the visuals, and then put it all together to analyze what's going on in the cartoon. So I'm going to walk you through that step by step, and then you're going to do it on your own with a different poster. First thing we do is take a look at the poster, quickly scan it. What jumps out at you? A few things jump out at me: the enlist sign, the big waving flag, and the man standing by the window. Those are what I see initially, but you might have seen something else. The next thing we do is look at all the words. So we see that big enlist sign, and at the bottom it says, "On which side of the window are you?" all capital. But also, they're in smaller words. There's the artist, Laura Bray, and in much smaller letters, we see at the very bottom the copyright, which is very important because it gives us the year that this was made. So you're going to record all that on your organizer, but make sure you're paying attention to even the smallest letters because they can give you a lot of information. The next thing you're going to do is look at the visuals, people, objects, places, activities, and even colors that are used. And of course, with any drawing, you want to look for symbols, like Uncle Sam is a symbol of the United States. So here we've got that big waving flag. We've got the window frame. There's the man standing in the forefront. There's also the soldiers marching behind him. And yellow and black are the big colors. We see yellow, black, and red in this cartoon. Sorry, in this poster. So you're going to record that in your organizer, and you'll notice I wrote that the soldiers are marching. It's important to differentiate because if they were just standing still, it'd be a different idea. Next thing is, does the poster try to persuade mainly through words, visuals, or both equally? And you might disagree with me here, but I argue that they're using both words and visuals equally in this poster. You see some big terms that are really telling the viewer what they want you to do, but you also see the sentiment in the imagery of the man watching the soldiers through the window. Next step is you're going to write one sentence summarizing this poster. So very, very quickly, a man looks through a window at soldiers marching by while the text asked the reader, what side are you on? And I summarized there a bit to fit it all into one sentence. The next step is just say when this is from, and that's where looking into the details really is important. Remember, we zoomed in to find the year. So this is from 1917. If it was from 1916, it'd be a much different story. It also helps us to know that this is from Chicago. So what was happening at the time in history this poster was created? That's going to take some background knowledge, but we know that in 1917, the U.S. joined World War I, and they needed to increase the size of their military. So, of course, they're going to try and enlist as many people as possible. And it's important to remember who is the intended audience, because that's going to help you understand the purpose of the poster. So for this one, the intended audience is young, able-bodied males who will join the military. And the last thing you're going to do is try to figure out why was this created, and you want to make sure you're able to back up your statement with evidence from the poster. So I said, based on the big enlist headline and the young man watching the soldiers, this poster was created to convince young men to enlist in the military. Okay, so it's your turn. You're going to take a look at your posters. Make sure you remember to look closely, record words and visuals, find any symbols that might be in the poster, and determine the purpose and audience. Check back in this video if you need a reminder.